Hello, my friends, and welcome to the next episode of the Nourish and Strengthen podcast. I have a really good topic for you today that I have created content on before, but I am almost positive we do not have this idea on the website, or not on the website, on the podcast, on our previous podcast recording. So I'm super excited to talk about 3 specific ways to know if your hormones are affecting your weight loss. And I'm also going to tell you what to do about it. Okay, so we're going to go into those exact ways and give you some tangible things that you can do to help you feel better and see results. Okay, but first, before we get into that, I want to announce a little bit of a change you're going to be seeing here for a little bit in the podcast. And that is kind of due to a change in my life, my workload, and I'm going to go into that in just a minute too. But we are going to be moving from weekly podcast episodes to approximately every 2 weeks. Now, when I say approximately every 2 weeks, if there's 3 weeks between episodes, that's going to be okay. If I have some burning information and we do episodes every week, that's going to be okay too. But really, going forward, plan on an episode every other Wednesday, okay? You guys know that I've got 2 books I'm working on writing over the next year and a half or so, which is a huge project. I also have some really fun things in the works that are still a secret, that are taking a lot of my time and energy and effort. And so I don't want to let the podcast go because I know it's a great way to connect and to educate and allow me to get on this platform and just talk to you guys. And I love that. So I don't want to let it go completely. But the weekly episodes, I'm going to need to tone them down a little bit to about every other week. All right. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. You guys probably know I've been in the fitness industry for a very long time, like about 20 years now, literally about 20 years. I've had my fair share of hormone issues. If you need my story, if you want to hear my story, go back to, I can't remember which episode it is. It's not too far back. You'll see, it's entitled something like I gained 50 pounds in a year and I didn't know why, or something like that. You should find it pretty easily in the episode list, okay? So find that if you want to hear my entire story, but I did. I gained 50 pounds in a year. I was able to lose it. And here I am educating, talking, coaching women who are going through the same thing. So when I talk to women who are struggling to lose weight and they don't understand why, hormones and stress are almost always at the root of the issue. Now, hormone imbalances are kind of buzzy on social media right now, right? Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's trying to sell you products and supplements and all the things that have to do with it. I want to just give you information here, okay? I want to talk about how imbalanced hormones, especially that come as we get older and that come as a result of stress, can negatively impact weight loss, okay? So if you've been wondering if this is what's going on for you, I'm going to take this about 10 to 15 minutes and really try to break this down for you to know how to know if your hormones are affecting your results and if it's possible to balance hormones naturally and keep it off for good and what to do, okay? So just a little quick backstory. I competed in bodybuilding competitions for about 10 years, from 2009 to 2018, okay? At the end of that, I was very lean. And when I stopped competing, I gained about 50 pounds, like literally in 1 year. I averaged about a pound a week for 52 weeks, okay? Now, oftentimes people will say, well, I wasn't super lean or I didn't compete. Like, why is this happening to me? And for me, the stress was being really lean. The stress was being overly restricted. But for other people, you can have a different stressor. It's the stress that is the problem. So maybe you are an endurance athlete and you've been running tons of marathons or doing a lot of endurance cardio activity. Maybe you have had a very stressful time raising your children. Maybe you've gone through a nasty divorce. Maybe you've had a death in the family. All of these are huge stresses on your body that can negatively impact your hormones and your metabolism. So even if your stress isn't the same as my stress was, the situation can still be very similar, okay? I know how it feels. I gained that 50 pounds relatively quickly. And I understand how it feels if you're feeling like nothing is working. I feel stuck. I feel hopeless. Nothing's ever going to work for me. I remember like it was yesterday, sitting down in my jeans and feeling my stomach just spill over the waistband and my jeans just digging into my stomach and how uncomfortable that was. And I remember going to the gym and realizing that I just didn't feel like myself anymore. I didn't look like myself. I wasn't strong anymore. And I truly felt like I was living in this body that wasn't mine. And I know how horrible that feels. But I also know what it feels like to come out the other side of it, because it absolutely is possible to lose the weight, feel healthy again, have energy, and feel confident in your body. Now, at the time when I was going through this, I was still exercising. I was not being reckless with food. I kept thinking, why is my weight continuing to go up and up and up, and is it ever going to stop? Now, this was years ago, guys. This was in 2019, 2020. And since then, I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot because I decided to dive into this and learn everything that I could about hormones, about perimenopause, about metabolism, about stress, so much so that I'm writing a book about it, for crying out loud, right? And I've coached so many women through the same situation. If you're interested in being coached by my team and you're going through something similar, I'm going to put the link to book a call with us in the show notes. It is a no obligation, no pressure call. Let's just talk about your goals, your scenarios, your stress, your desires, all the things, what you're doing, and see if it's a good fit. Again, no pressure, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right in, all right? So what caused my issues? Again, for me, being extremely lean for too long was my main stressor, okay? But like I said, that might not be your stressors, okay? Common things are moving your family across the country, a divorce, a death in the family, years of undereating, chronic dieting. If you're just a typical female who thinks you need to eat 1,200 calories or even lower, ongoing for years, that is a stress on the body, okay? If you've been doing CrossFit, Orange Theory, HIIT classes, ongoing for a long time, even positive stress can affect us this way, like a promotion, maybe a new job, maybe it's like good things going on in your family life, but it's very stressful. All of these can put a stress on your body and make you in a position where nothing's working anymore, right? So I'm going to tell you kind of the story about when I knew something was wrong, okay? So after my last competition, after all my competitions, I would go into a reverse diet phase, okay? I would reverse diet, I would increase calories so that I wasn't in a calorie deficit anymore. And I was going through that process. And about 6 weeks later, I had gotten back up to kind of like my happy, healthy weight, okay? My weight stayed stable for about a month, and I was like, okay, cool, here I am. I'm back where I usually am after I compete. But then about a month later, my weight started creeping up again, and it wouldn't stop. No matter what I did, it was that same steady weight gain, about 1 pound a week for an entire year. And that is when I hit this desperate place. And I remember thinking, if I can find someone who knows how to fix this, I will do whatever they say. I was that desperate. I was like, tell me what to do and I am going to do it and I am going to follow it to like the letter, right? And I know that's exactly where so many of you guys are, because I talk to you guys. My team talks to you guys on these strategy calls that we do. I talk to you on social media, and so many of you are just desperate for answers and to know what to do. So what I did, I worked with multiple doctors, industry experts. I read books. I booked free consults, or not even paid consults, with authors of books that I enjoyed to learn from them. I ran labs. I found these hormone imbalances and we addressed them with specific protocols, okay? And these protocols are what I have learned and implement with my team that we use on women just like you every single day, okay? So what finally worked is what I'm going to share with you today, all right? So that was a little bit of backstory, kind of longer than I meant to, but 3 ways to know if your hormones are affecting your weight loss. The first way is cluing in on your symptoms. So one of the biggest clues is how you feel, okay? How do you feel every single day? Common symptoms of hormone imbalances are anxiety or depression, extreme fatigue, hair loss, low libido, mood swings, poor exercise recovery. If you find that you're really sore for a long time after every single workout, weight gain despite eating in what you think should be a deficit or what was previously a deficit for you, night sweats, gut issues, and just kind of not feeling like yourself anymore, right? And these symptoms are commonly linked to high cortisol, low thyroid production, estrogen dominance, low testosterone, insulin resistance. So if you're experiencing any of those symptoms, your hormones could absolutely be affecting your lack of results with weight loss, okay? Way number 2, you're doing everything quote unquote right, but you're still not losing the weight. So if you are in what you think should be a calorie deficit, you're lifting weights 3 to 4 times a week, you're walking regularly, getting enough steps in, you're sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night, hitting your protein, honestly, you should be seeing progress, okay? If you're not, or if you're gaining weight, your hormones could be the missing piece, okay? This is extremely common in women who do a lot of endurance training or have like a history of a lot of HIIT or boot camp style workouts or have been chronically under eating, okay? So sometimes the goal shouldn't be weight loss first. Sometimes the goal should be healing, recovery, and balance, and you get your body to this state of peaceful balance, and then it will lose the weight so much easier, okay? Way number 3 is if your digestion is really off, you probably are having hormone issues as well. Your gut and hormones are really, really deeply connected. Your gut microbiome helps regulate and synthesize hormone production. So if your digestion is off, your hormones are usually off too. So common gut symptoms include things like bloating, constipation, diarrhea, gas, food intolerances, heartburn, brain fog, low energy. And I used to think that I couldn't eat much dairy or gluten, and now I eat all these foods with no issues. And like, I don't have gas, I don't have bloating, I'm totally fine because my gut is healthy again, okay? So if your digestion feels off, hormones are often involved and playing a role in it, okay? So now let's jump into what to do about it. So we talked about 3 ways to know if your hormones might be negatively impacting your results. And if you think they are, what to do about it. First thing, this isn't one of them, but first thing, book a call with my team, okay? We can help you. I'm going to put that link in the show notes. You can also DM me on social media. DM me the word 3 ways, and we can talk about this, okay? First thing, here's the framework that we use. Number 1, we do focus on rest and recovery. You absolutely need to prioritize recovery. So that means cutting back on excessive amounts of cardio. I actually, when I was healing, I didn't do any cardio for 9 months. 9 months. And guess what I learned during that time? I learned that I actually didn't have to do cardio. I hit steps, I did some yoga, I did my strength training, no cardio, no. And I lost the weight, okay? It also means reducing constant high intensity like cardio, boot camp, circuit style workouts, and incorporating more walking, traditional strength training, restorative movement, and just more rest, more sleep, more relaxation, more rest, okay? You can still train hard. You're just not constantly training hard and overworking, okay? Second thing to do about it is test. Get your labs done. If you don't have a doctor who runs comprehensive labs, go ahead and shoot me a DM because I do recommend a company called Sage Bio, or if you listen to this a long time down the road, I may have something else. Just shoot me a DM and I'll send you a link that whatever my favorite link is at the time. But a comprehensive panel, all right? This is gonna really show you what is going on in your body. You can work with your doctor, but oftentimes I hear stories of people saying, my doctor said my labs were fine, but I just don't feel fine. What a lot of doctors are doing is they're just making sure your totals come back in the lab ranges. You want to know how those lab ranges are created? They are actually averages of people who get their labs done. And if you're getting your labs done, chances are you don't feel good, right? And so you don't want to be in that average lab range. You want to be in those optimal ranges, which is typically the top 25 to 30% of that lab range, okay? So when we evaluate labs, we do them a little bit differently. We look for different things and we really try to optimize things as opposed to just like making sure you're average, right? So when you do those labs, keep a couple of things in mind. You want to take them fasted so you can get an idea of what your blood sugar and insulin is doing in the morning. Ideally, you want to take it between like 8 and 10 a.m. so you can see that nice healthy cortisol spike in the morning. And then ideally, you want to take it on day 19 to 21 of your cycle if you are still regularly cycling, okay? That's when your progesterone is going to be highest in your luteal phase. And so if you take it in your follicular phase or during your period, your progesterone is going to be lower, and you won't know if the low progesterone is due to the phase of your cycle you got the labs done in, or if your progesterone is just low, okay? So make sure you're doing it day 19 to 21 of your cycle. This is gonna give you real data instead of just guessing and wondering, and it's gonna give you an action plan of what to do, okay? Third thing, supplement. So once you see your labs, your supplements can be targeted and not random, because different imbalances require different support, and there's not really a one size fits all protocol. Okay. So my team, we can analyze labs, we can make supplement recommendations, but if you have high blood sugar, insulin resistance, your supplementation is going to be totally different than someone who has high cortisol and low thyroid production, right? And so both of those situations, you might feel kind of sluggish, just kind of blah, not really like yourself. You might be gaining weight, but you don't know why. So when you do those labs and you understand why, that's when you can really have a more targeted approach to fixing the issue, okay? And number 4 is reverse dieting. If you've been dieting for a long time, you're probably gonna need some time at maintenance, okay? Spending some time out of a deficit is oftentimes key to finding success in a deficit. This step is really, really important, okay? If you have been gaining weight, you likely haven't been in a calorie deficit. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you think you're in one, either your metabolism is a little bit slower than you think and you're not, or you just haven't been as consistent as you might think that you have been, okay? So spending some time at maintenance oftentimes is really, really important. So one thing I want you to think about as we end this, in one word, I want you to think how you'll feel when you finally figure this out. For me, that word was empowered, okay? Because as I learned and educated myself and was able to fix this for myself, I felt so empowered to go on and help you all do the same thing. That's what we do now. 99% of our clients are women over the age of 40 who are stuck and feeling like they can't see results no matter what they do. And now we love to help them lose 15, 20 pounds in their first 4 months with us and see incredible results and feel so good that they want to keep going and go through all the phases of our program, which include maintenance, lifestyle, fat loss, all the things. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels and jumping from plan to plan and just feeling stuck no matter what you do, I'd love to help you. Okay. So I'm going to put the link for that free strategy call in the show notes, or you can just go over and DM me on social media, and I'd love to chat with you. Send me the words 3 ways, and I'll know that that's what we want to talk about because you listen to this podcast, and we want to talk about kind of, what your situation is, your goals, your history, what kind of things you've tried, and try to figure out what's holding you back, okay? No pressure on these calls. Like I said, just clarity. So hope that was helpful, you guys. And like I mentioned, we're going to lower the frequency here of the podcast. So I will talk to you probably in about 2 weeks, okay? Have a great week, guys.